Homan vows to clean up ICE's operation in Minneapolis, the government scrambles to avoid another shutdown, and Southwest officially bids farewell to open seating. I'm Georgia Howe. Daily Wire executive editor John Bickley is off today. It's Thursday, January 29th, and this is Evening Wire. White House border czar Tom Homan arrived in Minneapolis on Monday to address the ongoing illegal immigration raids and anti-ICE protests, but did not appear publicly until Thursday morning. Daily Wire immigration reporter Jenny Tair has the latest.
President Donald Trump sent the former acting ICE chief to Minneapolis to replace Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino, who is known for marching through the city flanked by fellow agents in a show of force. Here's Homan this morning.
I come here looking for solutions. I do not want to hear that everything's been done here has been perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, and anything can be improved on. And what we've been working on is making this operation safer, more efficient by the book. The mission is going to improve because of the changes we're making internally.
Homeland Security sources recently told the Daily Wire that Homan has opposed the strategy of Bovino and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, whose focus has been on meeting quotas rather than focusing federal resources on hunting down the worst criminal illegal immigrants roaming Minneapolis. Homan also departed from Noem's earlier messaging regarding the fatal shooting of Alex Preddy. Hours after the shooting, Noem labeled Preddy a, quote, domestic terrorist who intended, quote, to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement. Homan made clear that he wouldn't speak on the incident until the investigation concludes. He also said that if any agents are not adhering to their standards of conduct, quote, they'll be dealt with.
Following Tim Walz's withdrawal from the Minnesota governor's race and his promise to never run for elected office again, a prior presidential candidate has thrown her hat into the ring. Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar announced her bid to lead the embattled state Thursday morning.
Minnesota, we've been through a lot. I'm asking Democrats, independents, and Republicans to join our campaign. It is a homegrown one born in a moment like no other.
The Cook Political Report ranks the governor's race as likely Democrat. If Klobuchar wins, she would be able to appoint her interim replacement until a special election is held. Minnesota's second Senate seat is already hotly contested with the retirement of Democratic Senator Tina Smith. That contest is also currently ranked as likely Democrat, but it's caught the attention of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, which is backing sports reporter Michelle Tafoya in that race. A Minnesota man allegedly attempted to spring Luigi Mangione from prison by posing as an FBI agent. Daily Wire reporter Tim Pierce has more.
On Wednesday night, Minnesota native Mark Anderson reportedly approached authorities at the New York City jail where Mangione is being held and claimed to have an order, quote, signed by a judge to release the accused murderer. When pressed, Anderson showed his Minnesota driver's license and told staff he had weapons in his bag, which included a barbecue fork and a circular steel blade resembling a pizza cutter. Today, federal prosecutors charged Anderson with impersonating an FBI agent.
Protesters clashed with law enforcement outside an ICE facility in Texas, following a viral photo of a 5-year-old boy who's being detained with his father. Daily Wire reporter Zach Jewell has the details.
Texas Department of Public Safety troopers arrested at least 2 protesters out of the crowd that attempted to block the road. Video from a local news affiliate shows law enforcement officers deploying tear gas and shoving the crowd back. Protesters chanted several phrases, including "bring them home" and "free the children." A photo of the 5-year-old Ecuadorian boy in the arms of federal agents went viral last week after his father was arrested in Minnesota. DHS said that the young child was, quote, abandoned by his father, Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, when he attempted to flee from federal agents. DHS added that, quote, for the child's safety, one of our ICE officers remained with the child while the other officers apprehended Conejo Arias. The child's mother has apparently refused to accept custody of him. On Tuesday, a federal judge blocked the Trump administration from deporting the boy and his father.
Google has filed a federal lawsuit that could bring down a massive Chinese hacking scheme. Daily Wire culture reporter Megan Basham explains.
A federal court reached a decision on Wednesday to allow Google to pull down multiple web domains owned by Chinese company IP Idea. Now, the company, which operates under dozens of pseudonyms, makes websites and applications used by tens of millions of people around the world, including in the U.S. Customers are often unaware that by using these products, they tacitly agree to let IP Idea use their devices as residential proxy networks. What this does is allow the company to essentially rent out the device's computing power and IP networks. While not necessarily an illegal practice in and of itself, evidence does suggest that IP Idea has marketed their services to illicit operations such as hackers and online smugglers. This means that devices in the homes of millions of Americans, from smartphones to desktops to even gaming consoles, could be used as cyber weapons without their owner's knowledge or consent. With Wednesday's decision to pull down the web domains, Google has intervened to put a stop to IP Idea, at least for now.
Over 100,000 homes and businesses in the Nashville area, including mine, by the way, are still without power after Winter Storm Fern slammed the city with ice over the weekend. Daily Wire senior editor Joel Needler has the story.
The Nashville Electric Service, which covers the vast majority of the metro Nashville area, said in a Wednesday afternoon update that a total of 109,000 customers remain without power, while around 121,000 customers have had their electricity restored. A major issue slowing down crews is the heavy damage caused by the storm, which brought down trees, limbs, and road signs blocking roads. Ice from the storm also coated roads and highways, impeding travel. The slow progress after the massive winter storm has put many Nashville residents on edge as they wait for the power to come back while battling extreme cold, with temperatures plunging below 10 degrees earlier this week. The storm, which brought snow and nearly an inch of ice in some areas, resulted in the biggest power outage in the history of the Nashville Electric Service.
A Waymo autonomous vehicle struck a child near Santa Monica, California this past Friday, prompting an investigation into the safety of AI-driven vehicles. Officials say a child ran out from behind a double-parked SUV in the street where the Waymo vehicle recognized the child and slowed to 6 miles an hour just before impact. The victim, who was not identified, then walked to the sidewalk while Waymo called 911. The company, part of Alphabet, is seeing intense scrutiny as operations expand across the United States. They claim to have given over 15 million rides in the past year while also reducing injury-causing crashes by 81%. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said it would probe the incident and determine whether the vehicle, quote, exercised appropriate caution given, among other things, its proximity to an elementary school during drop-off hours. Waymo responded, saying it will cooperate with the investigation. A Virginia hospital fired a nurse after she encouraged other medical professionals to sabotage ICE officers. The nurse posted a series of calls to action on TikTok where she goes by the name Redhead Redemption. In one video, she suggests filling a syringe with succinylcholine, a drug that temporarily paralyzes muscles, and injecting ICE officers.
I thought of something good. Sabotage tactic, or at least scare tactic. All the medical providers, grab some syringes with needles on the end. Have them full of saline or succinylcholine, whatever. That will probably be a deterrent.
The nurse also called on single ladies to go on dates with federal officers and spike their food with laxatives, and generally suggested, quote, make their lives effing miserable. The hospital, Virginia Commonwealth University Health, said it opened an investigation into the videos and ultimately terminated her employment. The Department of Education has put a California university on notice over its transgender policies. Daily Wire reporter Lyndon Blake has the details.
On Wednesday, the DOE gave San Jose State University 10 days to comply or risk, quote, imminent enforcement action. The move stems from an investigation into the university's women's volleyball team, which included a male player. During the 2024 season, 7 women's collegiate teams chose to forfeit games to San Jose State rather than risk physical injury from playing against the male player. The team's own co-captain, Brooke Slusser, joined multiple lawsuits against the NCAA, the athletic conference, and university officials, claiming she had been made to share changing spaces and bedrooms with the male teammate Blair Fleming, without first being informed he was a male. An assistant coach was also suspended and not recontracted after she filed a Title IX complaint over the school's handling of the male player. The DOE is now alleging that the school violated Title IX rules, created significant unfairness, and retaliated against women who filed complaints.
As the Trump administration secures a deal with TikTok's parent company to split the U.S. app from their global business, one name keeps coming up: Vice President J.D. Vance. Here with the exclusive on how the VP secured the deal is Daily Wire White House correspondent Mary Margaret Olahan.
Shortly after President Trump began his second term, Vance was handed a high-stakes assignment: save TikTok without compromising United States security. I'm told by people close to the vice president that over the past year, Vance quietly led late-night negotiations with tech giants, investors, and Chinese officials, working to pry control of the platform away from Beijing while keeping it online for millions of Americans. The talks nearly collapsed more than once, but the administration kept pushing, and the result was a newly structured US-based TikTok, majority owned by American and allied investors, with Chinese parent ByteDance reduced to a minority stake. President Trump is calling it a dramatic victory and a promise kept, crediting Vance with helping pull off one of the most complex tech deals of his presidency.
And Southwest Airlines marks the end of an era, officially pulling away from its open seating policy for the first time in its 53-year history. Passengers will now choose from standard, preferred, or extra legroom seats, bringing Southwest in line with competitors like American and Delta. The airline says the shift will create a more orderly boarding process and give travelers greater certainty about where they'll sit. The change follows other recent policy updates, including the end of Southwest's long-standing Bags Fly Free program. Those are your drive home updates this evening. To learn more about these stories, go to dailywire.com. And in case you missed it earlier today, we covered some major stories, including continued chaos in Minnesota as state officials defy federal authorities, President Trump publicly warning Iran to come to the table, and new data showing a sharp drop-off in U.S. population growth. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another full edition of Morning Wire.